Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what to do with that. Let it hang. Alright, you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Hi. It's 2025, so me and Megan don't have a birthday.
No.
Normally February 29th. I feel like I still have to explain it to people.
All the time.
All the time. But literally people don't even, if I'm like February 29th and they don't even bat an eye.
Right. I try to tell all the children at school because they want to know how they're older than me. But then they just don't get it.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. What grades? You do every grade, right? Because
All
you're
of them.
a technology teacher?
Yep.
Yeah.
Kindergarten through 5th.
Yeah. Anyways, so we don't have a birthday this year. So we're recording
9 1/4.
9 1/4. 37 human years.
Yes. 37 orbits around the sun. Is that it? Orbits?
Something like that. Revolutions?
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, 9 1/4, 37. I don't even know. Let's say February 28th / March 1st of 2025.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. Alright. You just want to get into it?
Yep.
Alright, you got your notes?
Yep.
Alright. Do you have a favorite moment from this past year?
I decided it was Disney World. That me and Chris went to Disney World in Florida for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to go with some of our good friends. Yeah. And we got to meet Belle. So I got to meet Princess Belle.
Was she, like, legit? Like, the costume and everything?
Yeah. And she was big yellow Princess Belle. Like, yellow gown Princess Belle.
Yeah.
But you can't just meet yellow gown Princess Belle. Like, she's not walking around the park. And you have to go to Enchanted Storytime with Belle in the castle. And so my friends knew that that was the only way I could meet yellow Princess Belle gown. But I didn't know. Anyway, so they said I have to volunteer to be a part of the story time. And I said, well, what about all the kids? And they were like, no, adults can do it too. And so then...
Don't want to disappoint the children.
Right. And so then they do cast adults and like didn't cast me. But then they were like, we have extras. And so then my friend Roxanne pushed me in the back to go forward. And so I was only an adult in that part.
What is this? Like a
so
little
they
tiny
do,
show?
it's almost like a little tiny show. And it's like a like be our guest almost. And so they have someone like as the candlestick. But the adults will like be the shining armor, like the armor that is protecting the castle. And so then they do little things that the kids, like you hold up a little thing. And so I was the Ottoman, the little dog Ottoman that's in Beauty and the Beast.
You have to turn the light on.
Oh.
Hi. There we go.
But you're part of the show, and Princess Belle comes in, and then people can like sit in the audience. And then at the end, only the people in the show get to take a picture with Princess Belle. And so then that was, and you can't like use your phone to take the pictures. Like you have to do the professional picture. And so then I had like a little name tag on because you get one for your first time at Disney. And so I went walking up and she's like, oh, Princess Meghan. And I was like, Princess Belle, call me Princess Meghan.
She was into it?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
Nice.
And I have a video, it's really funny, that I'm over there dancing with all the children.
You're the only adult?
Yeah.
Besides
the armor that are adults. So people who know about it, like Chris's cousin, thought it was so funny because I'm with all the children.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
It was one of the, like, Disney was like the experience of, like, not just for kids, I think, you know? And it's like, one of our friends was like, Disney, I feel like, is more important for adults because we get to, like, heal the inner child or, like, get to bring this joy that we were, like, missing or craving our whole lives. And
you'll remember it.
Yeah. And that's where I'm like, oh, I kind of feel silly carrying around this little thing, but it was like,
no, there's
be in the moment, and so
there's tens of thousands of adults there. Yeah, they'll probably like it more than the kids. Yes.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
And Chris got to meet Stitch because that's his current favorite. And they surprised us with that too, our friends. They did really good surprises for us.
Wow.
And then we were just going to brunch, and we didn't know that it was Stitch hosts the brunch. And so we went walking in, and Stitch was there, and Chris was like, if I was, imagine like Kelly Clarkson being at the end of the room is what Chris did with Stitch. And
so what does that look like?
So you,
it's a giant person in a costume?
Yes. So it's like a big mascot.
Yeah? Did he like crawl around like a crazy person, or just walking?
They walk mainly. He was so fun, but he'll do like little things, like he was pretending to like creep around on my head. But they go table to table, because then they're like, oh, your table's here. And Chris was like, we're just sitting down to eat. Like, we're not going to meet Stitch. And they're like, they're coming. And so he came around.
Nice.
And so it was just really cute, the interaction. And Chris's pictures are so cute. And then we also found out
Stitch was making all the weird noises?
That's the kids.
What the heck?
Yeah.
They can reach up there?
It's new.
That's insane. Hey.
Yeah, I knew it was Clark.
We're in the poop room.
Yep, we're in the kitty cat's
room. But the light is the best in here.
But Stitch, Chris came around, and then Stitch Chris had a little Stitch shirt on. And then, but Stitch was like pointing, like, I have really cute pictures.
Jeez.
And then Chris was like, you're going to go on our Hall of Fame next to Kelly Clarkson. And Stitch is lost his mind. Like, Stitch is clearly a Kelly Clarkson fan.
Yeah.
But Stitch was like, because they don't talk.
No? So he didn't make weird sounds?
No.
He didn't sound like Stitch?
No.
What the heck?
But it was so good. He was amazing. He was so sweet to us.
Nice.
Amazing.
Cool.
So I would say those are our favorite memories this year.
Okay. That's it? Not even another one?
Well, I don't know. It was a hard year.
Okay.
I mean, there's more, but I think this whole year alone, I think my lesson was gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
To be thankful. And, like, I feel like I say my village, like, showed up for me, my family and friends.
Uh-huh.
And so, yes, to get through the year.
Right. So you got to be grateful.
Yeah. And even though it's hard, there's things to be grateful for.
Yeah, it is extremely hard. I feel like in the way we live nowadays, it's so easy to just be upset. Like, stuff didn't go your way or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, but like you just have to think about how great we have it.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
And it's kind of like just trusting the path. Like, I was like, it's like God gives us what we need. The universe gives us what we need. There's fate. Like, I believe in all that. And I feel like I'm on my path. And this year didn't teach me anything else than that. Like, the faith, trust the process, trust the path.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of move forward with, like, an open heart and an open mind.
Yeah.
And everything and everybody shows up for you, what's meant for you. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, I did, like, a teacher for the first year, and I put out a little bitty wish list on my Facebook and stuff. And so then I just had all this stuff, because the PTA at my school wanted us to make one. And so I was, like, scared to, like, ask people for stuff, like, just buy me these things.
Yeah.
But even if it was, like, $10 here and there for, like, those people, it's little, like, sending me a stapler or something. But it was, like, all the $10 add up for me. Yeah. But, like, all this, like, mountains of stuff from Amazon just kept showing up at the front door. And I was, like, by the end of the week was just sobbing. And Chris actually had to come check on me to see if I was okay. And I'm like, look at it. Yeah. Like, I was just so grateful. Awesome. So that's what I was, like, just drowning in the, like, I don't know. Mm. The deep emotion, the appreciation, again, of, like, just trust the path, trust your village.
Yeah.
And surround yourself with a good village.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think at this age, I feel like I've weeded out. Pick the weeds. Yeah. Kept the flowers, as Kelly Clarkson would say. And so I have a good village.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can't do anything alone. I mean, we can.
Nah.
But why would you?
Well,
you don't have to.
I don't think you're supposed to.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think you should, though.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. All right. That didn't have anything to do with the question, but it was a great tangent.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has something to do with
Best moments of the year.
With anything else we ask.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll find out. All right. Did you try something new this year?
I think I just started working at a public school, which is obviously just talked about a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I worked at a private Montessori school for a long time previously.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need to get new jobs because of the path we were on.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was one of those, I was applying everywhere and sending all kinds of resumes and did some interviews. And I kept straying from kids because I just automatically was like, I know I'm good with them, but I didn't want to teach. But I couldn't get a job anywhere else because I didn't have experience. And so I had all the experience with kids. Anyway, but I was led to the elementary school is brand new, built like 4 minutes from here. It's like a mile from the house. And so I went ahead and applied. I actually applied for a librarian position. And then got into the interview. And I'm starting the interview thinking it's for the librarian position.
Mm-hmm.
And the principal was like, wait. This is not for the library position was already filled. And so anyway, and then she's like looking at my resume and she's like, why didn't you apply for classroom teacher? And then it just led on this giant journey that I was there in this interview for over an hour.
Anyways.
Okay.
You were doing an interview and they...
Oh, and then it just led to that it was this moment of sitting there that I can get emotional because I meet. But like even kind of was emotional in the meeting too. I was like, I don't know what we're supposed to be, like, where do we go from here? Because also it was, like, the library position's filled.
Yeah.
And so then that's where it was like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, just knew it, felt it.
It had to be a lot at one time. Within, like, 5 seconds, you were like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
My dream job's gone?
Yes.
You want me to do this job I don't really want to do?
Yeah.
And then you had to, like, grapple with that for a minute.
And then I was just kind of quiet, and she was like, well, why did you leave teaching? Because I left teaching in 2018. And I was just kind of like, And she's like, this is a safe place. You can be honest. I'm like, I can be honest. And so then I just kind of was like, bleh, like, said all the things. And so then it was one of those, like, leaving, going in for job interview that wasn't even available and leaving with, like, an informal offer to, like, teach there.
Right. So they were, like, right away, like...
Yes.
We think we want you to work here?
Yeah. They were, like, immediately. And then she's like, well, go home, like, think about it.
So they, like, straight up wanted you...
Yes. And
they knew you were probably overqualified.
Yeah.
Just because you don't have your... Is it a license or certificate?
Your certification. Yeah, so I don't have the Texas public school certification, but I have my private Montessori certification. Yeah. And so my principal was trying to use that, but they wouldn't let me in without mine. But they found a different position for me for this year while I'm working on my certification. Yeah. But also, it was like she was looking at my resume and she was like, you worked at Express Cheer? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I worked at Express Cheer. Yeah. She's like, I know Chris Henson personally. And I'm like, Chris Henson is a reference on my application. I know Chris Henson personally. Crazy. And so by the time I even left the interview, I texted our mutual acquaintances. And my principal had already texted them before I even could. And then I had emailed her the next morning at 8 and was like, okay. And she called me within 10 minutes and was like, I already talked to HR. I already asked about you, blah, 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 blah. So it was perfect. So I just really, truly feel I'm supposed to be there. And it's going very, very well. Nice. Yes.
It's not, the position isn't what you want.
Right. And so now, I want to be, so that'll be my achievement for next year question.
Yeah. But you got your foot in the door.
I have my foot in the door. I know all the kids.
Coworkers.
I love my coworkers. I love my principal.
You like the 4-minute drive?
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Great.
Yep.
All right. What is something that used to be difficult but is now easy?
I didn't know if I don't know, a task or something, because I feel like that's like I don't know, right? So I've decided on that. I'm going to cry all of a sudden. I had to say goodbye to my cat. And it sounds a little silly sometimes when you say it like that. But Chip was my best friend in the whole world. Mm-hmm. And he died at the beginning of June. 2024, so I've been crying a long time. But I was going to say, what used to be difficult was saying goodbye, and it's getting easier, but he was 18, and I had him almost exactly half my life, because I got him when I was...
Pretty much, exactly.
Yes, I got him when I was 18, graduating high school, which I feel like was probably the end of May. And then he died June 3rd, and so when he was 18, and so it's probably exactly almost like 18 years I had him straight. So, but he was just my best friend ever, and I loved him. And I call him my kitty soulmate. And so we had to say goodbye to him on June 3rd, which was very difficult. And then, luckily, it was one of those, we at least had like a couple weeks that we knew. Like, I knew my last week was my last week with him. So I think, like, the day we said goodbye wasn't necessarily as heartbreaking as, like, the week before when I knew that, you know, I cried that way. The heartbreak, loud cry a week before.
Yeah, because I guess that was the time you had to start accepting he's not going to be here much longer.
But, and then I just didn't want to be lonely and, like, be in a house by myself, like Chris goes to work. And so within 2 weeks, I went and got our new kitties. And there was a little gray kitty that we met in the end of May for Memorial Day. And they were like, look at the kitties, do you want to hold them? And I was like, no.
Because I'm going to take it home.
And then that's when I knew I had my last week with Chip. And so the weekend of, like, before we lost Chip. I was like, nope, I can't go look at kitties. But Chris kept going and looking at the kitties.
Why?
And they were so cute. And then there was 2 black ones and a little gray one. And so then finally this girl was holding the gray one and he was going crazy, the little gray kitty meowing. And so I held him and I had like little overalls on and he like crawled in my overalls and just went to sleep. And so then I was like, and he wasn't meowing. And so I'm like, Chris, can we take this gray kitty home?
Wow.
But so then I just kept being like, Chris, I keep thinking about the gray kitty. And then, but he said 2 cats or no cats.
Yeah.
Because they're buddies.
Yeah, they need buddies.
And so then I said, I don't want 2 cats. And he was like, then no cats. But then the other cats are black, and I didn't know if I wanted another black cat because Chip was a black cat.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in a couple months, and we walked in. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a giant black cat. I was like, there's Chip.
I know.
It tripped me out for a second.
And so then we're like, well, it's a girl. So she's a girl. Chip is a boy. And she has a little white hairs on her chest. So we were like, okay. But then I always say Chip's our little guardian angel. But because we went to get them from our friends, they were outside cats. And we couldn't find her, the black cat. And she didn't come out. And there was actually 3. And we took the 3rd one is with Shannon, Chris's brother. And so we were going to Chris was like, well, I guess Shannon and Nicole aren't getting the other cat. We're just going to take these 2 home. And we were waiting for like an hour. And then finally we were going to leave. And then all of a sudden Penny was sitting on the front porch. Like you could tell she was sleeping somewhere, like halfway up, like, where are y'all going? And I tell her, the kitty, that I'm like, Chip was like whispering in her ear to be like, your parents are fixing to leave.
Yeah.
And so then she got to come. And I love her. She's my girl. I didn't know I needed a girl until I got a girl. So I know how my mother feels.
Yeah.
When I came along. But anyway. But I also think it was hard to, like, love them and accept them at the same time.
Right.
Because I really missed my soulmate kitty. And I still believe Chip's my little soulmate kitty. And I feel like that's the difficult, that's not easy, is now I'm like, okay, they love us. Like, the kitties love us too. Like, I was like, literally be crying and was like, why don't they love me? But they're obsessed with each other. They're little best friends. And so then we had to Google where it's like they won't be attached to humans for like 8 months probably. So, but now they're little kitties.
Yeah.
So maybe that was difficult. That's now easy.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I don't know, I feel like half the people feel like animals and pets are like whatever, but then like another half of the population is like, no, they're definitely part of the family.
Yeah. I think like there's always, I hear like, oh, you're not a cat person, you haven't met the right cat. Or like, or you just haven't had that bond with an animal that you can.
Yeah. Because, you can definitely be friends with an animal.
Yeah. And then when people are like, oh, animals don't go to heaven. And I'm like, one reason I think they would is because they all have little different personalities. So that's what I feel like, oh, they have a little soul. Where if some people say they don't have souls, so they can't go. But I'm like, I guess there are a whole bunch of squirrels in heaven, but running around. But I like all animals have little personalities, I think.
Yeah,
and so,
for sure.
Yeah, and so that's another that you haven't got to know a little animal's soul or personality.
Yeah.
If maybe you haven't quite believed they're your family.
Yeah.
But and back to all of the things of Chip being my guardian angel is that we said goodbye to Chip on June 3rd. And all year, me and Chris are sending out resumes and applications and interviews. And on June 4th, we each got basically the calls and emails that are the jobs we're both at right now. And so then that was also like, I'm supposed to go do an interview, and I just said goodbye to my best friend.
Yeah.
And so...
That was the next day?
Yep.
That y'all
so
got?
July 4th, I got an email from the principal that said she wants me to come interview.
Yeah.
The very next day. And so then I did it like 2 days later because I went as far. She was like, Wednesday or Thursday. So I did Thursday.
Yeah. Give me another day.
Yeah. But that's where I even was scared to go into the interview because I was sad. And I was like, oh, my smile doesn't meet my eyes. And so even I said that too in the interview where it was just a very still honest interview of like, hey, I said goodbye to my cat on Monday and I'm really sad. But
yeah, I know most people appreciate that honesty.
Yes.
Not just giving them answers you think they want to hear.
Right.
Or hiding.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, and I wanted to like be myself, and so then that's why I was scared. Like I couldn't be myself because I was sad, but then I still was myself. Like I was just a different side of me. Like I still was open and honest. I wasn't necessarily the bubbly Meghan that I wanted to be, but now I'm still there, and I get to show them all that side.
Yeah. Great, and I'm sure they love you.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could create a rule that everyone had to follow, what would it be?
I put down, I kind of stole it from my friend at work, but she said that she thinks, like how we all have to do jury duty, right? That everyone should have to be a substitute teacher. At least once. Because then you're like, what?
Okay, I get it.
Heck is happening? And it's like, it's really hard. And you're like, wow. And then I think it would just be like this newfound respect. Not even for teachers, just for the kids too. Like school's really hard for them sometimes.
I bet.
And we all just send 25 little kindergartners off into the wilderness of kindergarten.
Yeah, you're socialized with 25 people you never met.
Yes. And so I think like it would give a different appreciation for the education system.
Yeah.
That everyone is paying for.
Right.
Whether they want to or not, kind of thing. And then also they realize that the people who are working in the education system are, I feel like, overlooked and underpaid and undervalued and underrespected.
Yeah.
And so it would just give a new respect for the entire system.
And understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is what this is.
But as soon as you said that, I immediately thought, oh, we should do that and also work at least 1 month at a fast food restaurant.
Oh, that's so fun. I think customer service is what I was going to say too. Like everyone should have to answer the telephone of someone who's angry. Yeah. And it's not your fault that they're angry.
Yeah.
But which you could experience that in a fast food restaurant too.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
People are insane.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at a cheap fast food restaurant. They just want free stuff.
Yeah.
And they're being rude. It's crazy.
Yep. So just, I guess, more experiences to see, like, in other people's shoes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a substitute teacher must be crazy. Plus, also, I guess a substitute teacher would have a different view as the homeroom teacher. I don't know, what do you call that?
Yeah.
Because kids treat substitutes different.
Yeah. And substitute has no idea who any of these people are, mostly. It depends, obviously, if you've subbed there before, but you have no idea. And then also, like, some of them have never taught at all, ever. But then some, depending on the teacher you're subbing for, is different, too. Like, the teacher might give you a whole list of things that they expect you to do, and you, like, get this list in the morning, and you're like, oh my gosh. And then there's some that are like, I don't care what you do, just make it through the day.
Yeah, don't die.
Yeah, don't die. And, like, you want to do a good job, and so it's very stressful. And the kids are like, I don't have to listen to you. I don't know who you are, and I'm never going to see you again.
Yeah.
Which just might be true.
Maybe.
So you're like, what's a free day?
You're right.
Yeah.
We're going to watch a movie today.
Yep.
Have you ever subbed?
I guess not technically, no.
No?
But I've been pulled into places.
Like at your...
Yeah.
I guess...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you're pulled in for
a
couple hours here and there.
Yep. Different places.
Yeah.
And then I also just am on the end as a specials teacher of I get the kids who had a sub for the day, and all of them are crazy when they come. Because they've had no structure all day. That's what they will lack when a sub is there. Is their normal routine and structure. And everyone, no matter your age, thrives on that.
Yeah. What do you love to do that no one knows about?
I'm pretty open. I decided that now that I have to go to work in the morning and I have to leave the house at 7. And so when you're like, oh, I don't want to go. But when I'm leaving and you open the garage door, and if it's a beautiful day, like I just love when the sun is shining and it's like smells good. And like it just the smell of like a brand new morning. Especially when there's like pink clouds.
Pink cloud. Oh, yeah, and the sun rising.
Like the sun rising, and like you feel like you're like in Lion King, and it's like the sun is coming over the Pride Land.
Yeah.
Is my favorite.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I get kids off the bus, and so I always tell them, and I'm like, you have to have a beautiful day, look. Like the day's going to be beautiful, look at the sky.
And the sun is still rising?
Yeah.
When they're coming off the bus?
Yes. And
nice.
so I have lots of pictures on my phone.
That's cool.
So then I'm like, did you guys look up today? And so I'm like telling everyone as they're getting off the buses. And the bus drivers did say they've never seen as peppy of a person in the bus like line ever. But like I'm so not, like I'm actually like really upset to leave. And like to go to school early, but every time I open the garage door, I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, do that. I gotta be to work at 7. So yeah, I get to see the sunrise. Yeah, I'll walk outside, because I walk out the back. I can't really see the sunrise, but I walk around the front to where my car is, and then there's sunrises up there, and you can see all the orange and pink clouds.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really nice.
And you're like, oh man, it's going to rain today. Yeah. But when it's the beautiful mornings, they smell nice.
The smell.
Yeah, you just take a deep breath, and then go on your day.
I like when it's super sunny and cold out. It smells different, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yep. And when rain's coming, it smells different.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's nice, and you'll hear like the little birdies tweeting, and because we're right by the pond, and so there's ducks quacking.
Oh, cool.
When it's like really nice days, there's more birds out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think now there's a lot of bird activity. So I'm a bird nerd. And I go on walks for lunch. And yeah, there's all kinds of birds migrating right now.
Yes.
Anyways, you probably hear them, but you don't even know what they are.
Yeah. Yeah. And because they'll like stop at the pond area and then like in their flight, so there'll be big flocks of birds, and then they leave.
Is that water clean or?
Probably not. It's like a self-made pond with a fountain in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know. They can go fishing over there.
Do people fish over there?
Yeah, it's like a catch and release pond.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
What do they catch? Like fish?
I don't know.
They can't be that.
Probably not.
Just for sport.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's it?
Yep.
Yeah, no, that one's a tough one for some people because they're just so open.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. Like at least Chris knows things about me. And maybe not everybody knows, but I'm like, Chris knows that.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes you don't even know what people don't know about you.
Yeah.
It's hard to think. You're like, everybody knows everything.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't, but.
Maybe not.
But we'll never know.
Yep. Like fresh laundry, like laying in the fresh laundered bed is one of my favorite things. It's like maybe not everybody knows that, but Chris knows that.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a nice feeling. And then it's gone after one day.
Yeah.
We should just wash our sheets every day. That's crazy. That's too much work. All right. When was the last time you were proud of yourself?
When we're not, I guess I just keep talking about teaching because that was my year. I got a teacher spotlight award last month. And we do like once a month. It's kind of like, it's not really teacher of the month because I'm not the only one, but I finally got one and I was really excited.
Heck yeah. And
then also, me and Chris made the best snowman ever.
Oh, yeah. That was like a full-size snowman.
It was taller than Chris. And I was like, yes.
Mm.
I'm like, this is our greatest accomplishment to date.
Yeah, you guys got tons of snow up here.
Yeah, and then Chris was like, too bad we don't have a carrot. And I was like, yes, we do. Because I got a carrot for a recipe. And so, like, we had a real carrot.
You had one carrot?
Yes.
One.
Literally one. And then Chris got coal for his eyes, and I ran in and found buttons. And then Chris went and cut off little arms from the tree. Heck and I had a Frosty hat that I got for dress-up day at school. So I put Frosty's hat on him. And we did a little scarf, and it was so cute.
Yeah. Man, I was jealous. We got, like, nothing in Lancaster.
I put a ruler out in the backyard, and it was, like, 7 inches.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it was, like, real snow. So
yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of being grumpy that morning just because. And Chris was like, let's go build a snowman. And so then it just brought us, like, so much joy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, thanks. So, like, those felt nice. Yeah. And then I'm like, that didn't take that long. And I went back and looked, and it took over an hour. But, like, you know, you're having fun.
Yeah, an hour sounds like a good time.
Yeah. So
I thought it would take way longer.
Yeah. And then all the people in the neighborhood came and were taking pictures of it.
Nice.
Until the children knocked it down. No, it was in the backyard in the community little spot.
Oh, okay.
By the pond.
Yeah.
So it's really cute.
Little resident snowman.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Those two things?
Yeah. And just being at school and, like, doing a good job. And I feel like I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah, and getting that award shows that, I guess, your peers know that you're doing well.
And then I'm a person that likes validation and recognition.
Mm-hmm.
And I try really hard not to. But it's nice to hear it, too.
Well, yeah, especially for work.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, you don't always want to be there. But
yeah.
If your boss or your peers are telling you you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
Makes it easier to be there.
Yeah. And you're doing things outside yourself.
Mm. Okay. And is there anything you want to accomplish by your next birthday?
Complete my teacher certification. Be in a general education classroom is what it's called. I'd like to teach 2nd grade, but we'll see where the path takes me. And I think, and I want to work on, I have to figure it out. I'll go talk to a counselor. But I give a lot. Like, I feel like, so, like, my goal would be, like, I have a cup, you know, you pour from your cup. And to not, my cup is empty. Yeah. Like, how to not have an empty cup.
Right.
But, like, I naturally do that. Like, I want to help everybody, and I want to give. And then in the role at school that I'm in, I see all the children, like kinder through 5th. Mm-hmm. So I'm pouring, like, into 500 kids. Like, probably there's literally, like, 520 something. And so I feel just a little drained right now.
Yeah. 500 kids?
But it's like, yeah, and it's like, but, like, I'm happy. Like, I want to do that, and, like, all the people at work. And then I have, obviously, a large family, and I have multiple friend groups. And so it's like, I want to, like, necessarily no one's asking me to do that. Sometimes they do. Because I naturally do it, and they know I'll do it. And so it's hard for me to say no when they do ask me. And so, like, right now I feel a little empty. In March. The school year's almost over in May. So I want to learn to keep some little bit in my cup.
Yeah.
My invisible cup on the inside.
For sure.
So we'll figure out how to boundary my little cup.
Yeah.
And say no
or
sometimes.
at least regenerate faster.
Yeah. How do we add to it?
Yeah.
And I think for me, like we're like the validation stuff too. Like I'm giving all of it, and so I would like. It's hard, people like I guess to give it back. I don't know, and it's like I don't want to ask you to give me things, right? And so.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't expect other people to be like you, or like expect other people to feel the way you do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm learning that too. I'm like, I give all the time. Why didn't you give?
Yeah. It's hard to. When you think like that, and then in your head you're just like, why don't they do this? Why don't they do this? Why don't they do this? It's like they're just not going to.
Yeah. Right.
Especially if you don't say anything.
Yeah.
But obviously you don't want to like have a weird confrontation.
Yes.
With someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 So I feel like I don't know what I was gonna say. We're just like, oh, Meghan automatically does this. Like I feel like within our family a lot. And so I was like, oh, Meghan will do it. Meghan will take care of it. And I'm like, but why? Like, why does she have to?
Yeah.
And so it just is almost that expectation.
Yeah.
Which I guess everyone plays a different role. And so I think we all, I mean, I do it too, right? Like, that we just expect things to happen. But I'm expected to take care of things. And pour from my cup all the time.
Yeah. You gotta change those expectations.
Yeah.
From everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You want some bonus questions or?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Here, let me.
You could talk to your twin sister, but I should talk to you too.
Yeah. But your interview was only like 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
You know I could talk for 8 years straight, so.
All right. What's your favorite color?
Purple.
What's your favorite food?
Cupcakes.
And what's your favorite season?
Fall.
What's your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
What makes you want to dance?
Music. When you eat something really good and you're like,
If you could only keep one thing in your room, what would it be?
My bed?
Yeah, I think that's what Nathan said too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have a little ducky that I sleep with every night.
Right.
And I guess...
Like, what? Yeah, you need a bed. But a bed with no blanket is like, what's the point?
Yeah, because you sleep on the floor with your blanket. And your blanket could be your pillow. And you could put the blanket down, and that could also be your bed. So maybe we've decided it's a blanket.
A really thick blanket.
Yeah. Because it could be used in multiple ways.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't wrap yourself up in a mattress.
Yeah.
Ooh, if you were the school principal for a day, what would you do?
I don't know. If I was the school principal today, I don't know. The kitties. Bring the cats to school. The kids ask me to bring the kids to school. The kids ask me to bring the cats to school all the time. And I said I can't because they're allergic. And so someone said I could have a kitty closet. I'll have a kitty closet at school.
Wow.
And they're like, and the kids who aren't allergic can go to the kitty closet and say hi. So bring your animals to school day.
Oh, man.
How about that?
That would be overwhelming for those cats. Okay. If you could go to space, what would you do there?
I would not go to space.
Okay.
Like, I would vomit so hard on the spaceship to get there. I just don't even want to.
Okay, let's just suppose you wake up and you're in space and you're in your comfy little spacesuit and you're just jumping around wherever the hell you are. What do you want to do?
Dance.
Dance?
Dance, but like space dance. Like jump around. And it's obviously going to be Kelly Clarkson that needs to be played first.
Yeah.
In space.
Huh. Wonder how hard it is to dance on the moon.
Yeah, like how does a soldier boy work on the moon, the dance?
Okay, you just opened the door.
We did it. Come here.
Now you're scared?
Hi. You did it.
Good job. You gotta poop?
No, this is my room. Here, say hello to the camera.
Nope.
You're a brat. Come here.
Nope.
He just wants to go out and play.
Yeah. Alright, well, you
Bye.
get up. One more interview.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. We're going to bring him. This is the gray cat that we talked about in the video. He opened the door. This giant gray cat is the one that stole my heart. We talked about you.
Come on.
We talked about you. He was the runt. At 8 weeks old, he didn't even weigh 2 pounds. He was under 2 pounds. Now, 13. And his name is Clark, for Kelly Clarkson. He's Clark, son of Logan. Cat.
Hey.
Come here. These are the new kitties. Come here.
Nope.
Nope.
Bye.
He's out. This is Penny. That's my girl. She's Princess Penny. They just want to be included. Oh yeah, he'll get those. Okay, say goodbye.
Bye. Alright. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. We need a thing.
Yeah. We'll just clap.